Ohio.
Yes, exactly. So my father's like, Paula, in 2 days you're getting this.
Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, Township Council, special meeting, October 14th, 2014. Meeting called to order by myself at 7:30 p.m. Please rise for flag salute. Mr. Stanton, if you would.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Karifi.
Here.
Mr. DePiero.
Here.
Mr. Peluso.
Present.
Mr. Stanton.
Here.
Mr. Valori.
Here.
Others present, Mayor James R. Barbario, L&M Sandman, Business Administrator, Paul Calzarelli, Assistant Business Administrator, John Inglesino, Esquire, Township Attorney, Yancey Resermis, Township Clerk, and Ann Cucci, CFO. The agenda of this meeting, to the extent known, is as follows. Application to the Morris County Open Space Preservation Trust regarding property identified as Block 421, Lot 29 on the tax map of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills and located along Route 46 between Waterview Boulevard and Intervale Drive. Formal action may or may not be taken.
Statement of compliance. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing the notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on October 9, 2014, where it has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record on October 11, 2014, and was forwarded by fax to the Star Ledger and Parsippany Life on October 9, 2014.
Closed session, resolution. Whereas the Open Publics Meeting Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Council wishes to discuss attorney-client privilege regarding litigation with R.D. Realty versus Parsippany and Bendis versus Parsippany. And whereas minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires confidentiality, the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Second.
Motion to adjourn made by myself, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
We're on.
Make a motion to reconvene into open session?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Peluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to advise the council that last week, this is with respect to the town's application to the Morris County Open Space Trust Fund for $3.5 million grant, which would towards the acquisition of a portion of the Waterview site. The subject matter of that application has been discussed at considerable length at prior public hearings. We received word Thursday of last week from the county that the county's appraiser has determined that the fair market value of the subject property is $3 million. We had applied for $3.5 million. And so in order for the township to be eligible to receive consideration of the grant, it would have to amend Section 4B of the application and revise the request from $3.5 million to $3 million. A couple of points in that regard. Number one, that does not obligate the town to use the money to purchase the property. Under the Morris County rules, you would simply, if the town is awarded the grant, then that award would last for 15 months, and there would be 2 additional extensions after that that would be afforded to the township in accordance with the Morris County Open Space Trust rules and regulations. So it does not obligate the town to buy the property. It does not affect whatever agreement may or may not be reached with RD Realty. It simply amends the application to reflect the appraised value as determined by the county's appraiser. In order to do that, we'd simply need the concurrence of the council to do it. It doesn't mean you're getting the award. The award will be determined by the freeholders ultimately, but there's a process whereby the application is considered. There'll be opportunities to present, which are coming up later this month, I believe, and then in November, usually the second week in November, second or third week in November, the awards come out. So in order to remain eligible for a grant, the application would have to be amended to $3 million. And again, there's no obligation to use it. There's certainly no harm in getting the money. I think Parsippany over the years has contributed about $41 million, Ellen, if I'm correct, towards the County Open Space Trust. And so this would just be getting $3 million of that back. And that's the only issue. That's the only issue for consideration by the council tonight. And if anybody on the council has any questions for me, I'd be happy to address them.
I think one thing I'd just like to reemphasize that by amending the grant in no way, shape, or form means that there's any agreement. We have not accepted anything. This just amends the grant, whether we're going to get the grant or not, the application. So, anybody else have any questions or anything? Okay, so at this time, entertain a motion to amend.
Yeah, and there's no public hearing on this. You have your normal public hearing, general public hearing afterwards.
This time, entertain a motion to amend the grant application.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero. Any second? Okay, we don't have a second.
No, just lost
Yeah.
$3 million.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have a second. So, that's it.
Okay, so what I will do is I'll notify the county that we will not be proceeding with the application. Because I can't modify, I can't continue without that. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, entertain a motion, open up public hearing.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. Valori. Roll call?
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Yes, this is open.
Public session. Anybody can
Okay.
come up.
Please state your name, your address, and sign in. You'll be given 5 minutes.
Oh, just turn the mic on.
Pat, I'm surprised we can't hear your voice.
Just give it a minute, just turn it on.
Yeah, sometimes it takes,
Usually, you gotta, yeah. See? You got it.
Papatacha, 182 Hawkins Avenue. Thank you for not going for that, especially since the fact is that we can apply for it, and if we don't, need it, what happens to it? If we apply for it and they say yeah, and we get the $3 million, and we don't go for it, that $3 million is just sitting here?
Goes back.
No, they.
Goes back? Okay, but that was good. All right, no, I agree. I don't think we should waste money that way. It's not conceivable for this town. Thank you.
That's a record, Pat.
Curtis Hardenberg, 85 Redgate Road. I think mine will be even shorter. I just want to thank you for what you just did. I think it's better not to take the money. But Mr. Inglesino, I just want to know where we stand now at this point. Is it going to the court, or is it still being negotiated? Where are we at?
Well, I think that we're in court. We'll proceed with the case at this point. That's where we're at.
That's it. Thank you.
Nick Homiak, Lake Hiawatha. I'll add my 2 cents too. Thank you, gentlemen. That's the first thing actually done toward the community that lives here since this whole RD fiasco began. Just a thing here. If there's any way to possibly rezone this land, because it is a natural resource asset. Our master plans say part of our objectives are to save natural resources. Well, if Waterview landscape is not a natural resource, then we're not on the right planet. So that whole land has probably been misjudged all along, because it's simply in a planning zone and no one's seeing it for its actual character. In 1980, the U.S. EPA designated Parsippany Aquifer the interconnected networks and storehouse of potable water was the 7th sole source aquifer in the United States. That means in the whole United States, Parsippany's aquifer was rated to 7. Now, I think that's a heck of a lot more important than Fortune 500 rating us whatever, a money magazine. The same corporations that are ripping the country off with austerity, and they got the money, and and they don't give it back for anything, an uneconomic economy that they support. But this lawsuit is not frivolous, I still say, because RD, or this town, never bothered to consider to begin with the fact that no need exists for this development and no change ever took place in that neighborhood up there, that this landscape is right behind, is a threshold to. None of that ever took place. So there's no grounds for rezoning. There's only RDs coming into the town thinking that they could do what they want here. And I'll end it with this. Tonight, I think like I said, you actually represented the community here tonight by not going for that money. And if there's any way that we can get money, let's get the whole amount, have it reassessed, put the pressure on the property owner, rezone it, whatever you have to do, and let's keep it forever, because it is a natural resource asset. The President of the United States just came out with Enhancing the Climate Resilience, America's Natural Resources. You guys might be interested in this. It's sort of like the Highlands Master Plan. And that's the other thing I can't figure out, how a local zoning board could have the audacity to think that they have more knowledge in land use than the Highlands people or the president in this committee and everything. The Times are speaking for themselves. The planet is in trouble, and little things like the taking away of an aquifer recharge area has a large cumulative effect, because things like that are just not happening here. They're happening all over. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you, David Kaplan, 263 Intervale. Thank you. Secondly, I'm a little bit excited. A couple of weeks ago, Mr. Inglesino, you said you felt very confident about winning this lawsuit. I know you also said you're not the judge and the jury, but that's exciting to me. And about a year ago, Mr. Mayor, you said that you wanted to purchase the land as open space. So the way I see it, you have a job to do. You have a job to do, and we've made a step in the right direction. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Hi, Julia Peterson, 25 Old Parsippany Road. I want to thank the council and the mayor for their support of the historic resources in town. At the Bowlesby DeGelke House, we had a great weekend. We had about 180 people visit, including a lot of people from the apartments in Baldwin Oaks who said, "Oh, it's open again." And it wouldn't have been open without the support of this council and this administration. I also want to note, as passing, that when the Open Space Committee maintained a reserve open space inventory, it was a lot easier to prioritize the uses of money. I understand that this particular grant was not going to come from the Parsippany Open Space Fund, but the lack of a prioritized list is a little bit of a concern. But for those of us in the historic community, and I'm not speaking for anybody in the historic community except myself, we were gratified by the weekend. We were really happy to see Councilman DiPiero there, and it was a good weekend, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's it going? Andrew Springer. I'm currently up in the Vale Apartments, so not really close, but just it seems like there's been a lack of notification to some of the businesses on the street. I know maybe Gale gets their information centralized and they're done. You don't really hear from them, but I've been in touch with the folks from DSM, who'd be the driveway just across from where this project would have put a light. They've been having a hard time actually making it in these meetings. They were following for a while. They thought the project was done, et cetera. You know, just it seems like being they own the building, they should have had more notice, more, transparency there, and they weren't hearing anything really, except word that we could be staring at this across our street, and really weren't getting any project information coming to them. So just want to see corporations being people, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. See no one else come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton. Seconded by Mr. Valori. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. This time I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Valori. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Good night.
It's early. I can't say goodnight, everyone. I use it.